Good morning, Glenn here in Tampa. 67 degrees, finally cooled down a little bit. It was getting hot and I was just like wondering, are we even going to see a winter this year? But feels great outside. And so the topic today is what Nelson Nash used to call, or would call, Parkinson's law, which is also known as lifestyle inflation. And really, I actually believe that this is where wealth is really created, is being able to control that. The lifestyle inflation and Parkinson's law, it's expenses rise to your income. So say you get a bonus, you decide if you don't store that capital somewhere or put it somewhere where it's out of sight, out of mind, you'll figure out a way to spend it. And I've had that experience in myself with having, a lump sum of cash in my bank account. And for whatever reason, I start to feel like I need a vehicle. And, vehicles are the biggest wealth destroyers. You can find the loans and everything. And then also with income, people feel like they need a bigger house. And that's another one that just kind of crushes your savings rate, which your savings rate is how you create cash flow and wealth. And so what I do regularly, at least once every 3 months, I review my expenses and I figure out what I can cut out of my life that's really giving me no use. And that's how I start to figure out how to save more. And then at the end of the year, you'll see all the places you're able to store your capital. And where I store my capital is in an infinite banking policy, where it's kind of like a measurement of where I'm saving my capital, and then also gives me more areas to deploy my capital. So that money that's in there, the way I think of it, it's really your own bank, but what I do with it is really buy cash flowing assets, or I figure out a way to reduce my overhead. So if it was to pay off a loan, to increase my income or decrease my expenses, those are things that I would be doing with that cash value in my life insurance. But if it's not doing anything, it's running, making 3 to 5% better than a cash account at a bank. And it's almost like, I've been thinking about it recently. It's like when you get into a river, it doesn't look like it's moving very quickly, but the second you get in it, you're not able to swim upstream. And really, with the infinite banking concept, you're creating a place to store your capital, to be able to have your a place where the current is flowing in your direction, compared to all of these other expenses that slow you down, as in lifestyle inflation. And with that, I think that is, if you're able to control that, and no matter what income you're at, there's always somebody that's saving more money. And I could tell you, when I worked at Red Lobster, there was this one guy I worked with, had the same job as me, and I had no money in my bank account. And I couldn't figure out how he was saving money, and he had $10,000, and I thought $10,000 meant you were like killing it at 23 years old. And I couldn't figure it out. But the story is that I would bring up expenses that I would be having. He would almost criticize me for those expenses, and at that time, my expenses were all out of control, and I never paid myself first or anything. And just seeing somebody like that, I couldn't comprehend how he was able to save money and I was able to literally not have any money, barely. I was living in my parents' house, and there's all kinds of, couldn't figure out how to save money. I just blew every dollar I could make. And that's where Parkinson's law was really getting a hold of me. And but I learned over time to pay yourself first, which is where I pay myself first, is through my properly structured whole life policy, which is creates it stops the Parkinson's law from happening to me. And on that note, you guys have a great day.